What's up, everybody? My name is Parasite. Welcome back to Over the Top with Manchester City. Today we have Lyon in the Champions League group stage and Tottenham in the Premier League. Things started off well after the 6-0 drubbing of Newcastle, but then it all went wrong when we had to face Liverpool. They absolutely throttled us, beat us 2-0. It wasn't even that close. We kind of pulled it back at the end. I tried the away tactic, and it is awful. So I had to make some changes to it, and it seemed to help a little bit. So I made some changes because what it was just not working. It was a terrible tactic. I've not had a single good game playing that tactic, so I had to change it. But after Newcastle, we played West Brom, beat them 2-0. Mahrez in stoppage time in the first half. Lukaku with a 62nd minute penalty, so we didn't play that amazing, but we were good enough. Fulham, we did play pretty amazing. 4 goals in the first half, 3 in the first 21 minutes. Foden, Laporte, and Lukaku with the 21st minute penalty, and then he scored in the 45th minute to make it 4-0, and we just coasted the second half. I already talked to you about the Liverpool match. We just played like crap. Their first goal was just ridiculous, like a ridiculous deep cross to a ridiculous header by James Ward-Prowse. I don't know what his heading is, but it should be like 20. It's 7, but it was like the perfect header, absolute perfect header from like the edge of the D into the far top corner. It was one of the best headers I've ever seen in this game. Lautaro Martinez scored in the 86th minute. That was disappointing. Then played Leeds in another disappointing game. It had been after an international break, so every single player, like 80% of my starters were tired. None of them, almost none of them were fully fit for the match. I had to do a lot of rotation. I had to play a lot of retired players, and we didn't play well. I say that. We destroyed them. It was another game where we absolutely destroyed the opposition. Just couldn't score goals. 23 shots, 13 on target. Gabriel Barbosa has not started the season off well for me. He's not looking any better than Gabby Jesus. So that's not good. Sterling was just awful. Mahrez just couldn't get a goal. I feel like it's another situation. If we don't have Lukaku in there, we're not scoring because Gabriel Barbosa has not started off well. He's been pretty awful. Sterling is just he relies on really good players around him in order to score goals. He should dominate by himself, but he just doesn't. He plays like such a garbage player on this game. But yeah, we destroyed them. 2 shots on target to 13, and we drew 1-1. I've been FM'd in this particular save more than any save in the history of playing FM. I've never in a single save been FM'd so many times. It's unbelievable. I don't understand why, but today we've got Lyon and Tottenham. We will be playing Inter. Our Champions League group is Lyon, Young Boys, and Inter Milan. So Romelu Lukaku will face his former club. He just signed from Inter Milan. They also sold Lautaro Martinez. So they sold their best 2 players probably. They've got capable replacements though. They signed, go to transfer history, Richarlison from Everton for $78 million, which is a lot of money. They did make a profit though. They sold Martinez for more. They sold Lukaku for more. But he doesn't look that amazing, but he started off well for them. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. So he started off hot. And they also signed Duvan Zapata to be their second striker. He's really freaking good, but he's 30 years old. But he started off well too. 2 goals in 3 games. So yeah, it looks like they got capable replacements. That'll be a future episode. This episode we're playing Lyon first. If you look at the squad, there's a couple injuries. David Alaba got injured, which is not ideal. We also made a sale. I forgot about that. Almost forgot about that. We made a sale. He wanted to go. Real Madrid came in for him, and he just threw up a fuss because we wouldn't agree to sell him, even though he's never going to get a minute in that team. We have sold Benjamin Mendy to Real Madrid for $63 million. He wanted to go. He was being a little girl, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll sell you. $63 million is a pretty good amount of money to get from Benjamin Mendy. They actually made a $1 million loss, but I don't care. I didn't make the signing. He's pretty good, but he was never exceptional for me. 6.8 average rating, 7.04 average rating, so he was fine. Only 1 assist is not very good, though. He has played 2 appearances for Real Madrid. He must be their starting left back. That's not good if you're Real Madrid, because he's our backup. He would have been like our 3rd choice next season. So I did have to bring back Nuno Mendes from his loan because I needed another backup. So Nuno Mendes has been recalled. He is our main backup left back. He's the left back that will be starting this game. This is the change to the tactic I made. I moved the central midfielder up to an attacking midfielder. Move the striker up to a more attacking role as a complete forward on attack or advanced forward, depending on who's up there. And I put our deep line playmaker on support, so he gets a little bit further forward and kind of connects the defensive midfielders to the attacking midfielder. I kept our wingers back, but that might be something I change. I might go to a 4-2-3-1 with two DMs. And if that doesn't work, I might just go to a normal 4-2-3-1 to see if that helps with two defensive holding midfielders. I don't know. I can't win away from home with this team. We just always play, well, we don't always play terribly, but we always lose away from home. I don't know what it is. The 4-3-3 does not work. We saw that. We lost 8 games with the 4-3-3 away from home. Every single one away from home. That is not working. I have to try something else. I'm going to try things until something finally works. Maybe I need to do a 5 at the back. That might be something I try if this doesn't work. We're going with this against Lyon, though. Starting positive. Kind of our normal starting lineup. Everyone's fit, so Gundogan and Fernandinho will play defensive midfield. Mars and Sterling on the wings. De Bruyne attacking mid. Lukaku up top. Mendes, Laporte, Stones, and Walker. And Ederson in goal. We still got a couple other injuries. Cancelo's still injured for 12 days to 4 weeks. Diaz is still injured 9 days to 3 weeks. And I think that's all. And then David Alaba. And we had to not have a lot of good players registered because Jack Grealish is also still injured for 3 to 6 weeks. We had to unregister a lot of players because we only have one homegrown player that's over 21 years old that needs to be registered. So I didn't have a choice. I had to unregister. I couldn't register Jack Grealish. I will register him again whenever we get in the January transfer window because I did register Oxlade-Chamberlain. So I will unregister Oxlade, probably send it back, and register Jack Grealish at the next opportunity. We couldn't register Serginho Dest. We couldn't register Rodri. That is the biggest loss. I had to make a choice between Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Rodri, and I have a lot of players that can play defensive midfield. Obviously got Gundogan and Fernandinho. Ake can play there. Menino can play there. Camavinga can play there. Doyle can play there. So we have plenty of options there. So I felt like I had to not take one of them with me, and I just chose Rodri. Fernandinho has big matches, so I want him for the Champions League. And Camavinga, he's better attribute-wise than Rodri, so I went with Camavinga as our second defensive midfielder. We couldn't register Zinchenko. We couldn't register Stefan. We couldn't register Ahmedhodzic. So we only have 4 center backs, only 2 goalkeepers. We have 3 players that can play left back, though. Alaba, Mendes, and 4, Laporte, and Nathan Ake. So we have plenty of players that can play left back. I think it's the best way of getting all of our best players in the team and getting enough cover at every position. So, yeah, I had to make some tight decisions, but that's what I've gone with. But now let's get into this game against Lyon, see how this tactic performs. Maybe I'll need to change it during the game. Maybe I'll need to push the wingers up, but we just have to see. We need something to work away from home because it's not been good. I'm going to say if we play our game, we'll win. You're all very capable of that. There's no really good thing to say there, but always do the faith. It always works. Both teams come to this one in good form. How do you rate your chances ahead of kickoff? I don't think we've played all that well despite our good run of form, and if we don't attain a high standard of football here, we could struggle. Do you agree with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's decision to put Eric Bailly on the transfer list? Yes. Ole Gunnar has my full backing if he wants it. He's in charge there, and if he's had to put Bailly on the transfer list, then I have to believe there are sufficient reasons for doing so. The reasons being, he sucks. So, yeah, probably a good call. They have Marcus Edwards on the right wing. I thought of signing him early on in the first season, but he had just signed a new contract, so I couldn't. But I don't think we need him. I think we got plenty of options at right wing. He's a pretty good player, and he's English, so that would have been pretty good. But he's one of the people to sign if you're using an English club. Marcus Edwards, he's really good, left-footed on the right wing, English, homegrown in nation. He's a great option. He's not that expensive. It's like $25 million, something like that. 25 to 30, I think. So not too expensive and pretty good dang good player. You can also play attacking midfielder if you need him to. It's better on the right wing though. Now we've got see if we can get an attack going here. Not a very good ball by De Bruyne, but it finds its way to Sterling. He's looking to look for a cross end. We've got Romelu Lukaku in the box. He goes to the edge of the area with Gundogan into Walker. Oh, shot at the near post. Gets saved by the goalkeeper. He gets down quickly to his near post. Is that Anthony Lopez, I think? Is that your name? Yeah, Lopez. So good save from him. Nuno Mendes did score in our last game, if you saw. Like, he scored a banger, too. It was outside the area, just rocket with his left foot. Obviously, unfortunately, it was the only goal we could score. Our left back is the only player that could score a goal for our team, which is not good. But it was a good goal. Hopefully he can do it some more. Hopefully he can put in some good performances, because I wasn't totally sure about moving on from Mendy and going with Nuno Mendes from here on out as our backup, but I couldn't have an upset Mendy. He was causing problems with the squad. Everyone was coming to me saying you should sell him. They're supporting Mendy in the feud, but so I had to get rid of him. I'm not too fussed. I think Nuno Mendes is a very good player. He started this game off all right, a 6.9 average rating. We've been the better team so far. We're not creating a whole lot still, but we're not conceding anything. We have 0 shots from Lyon so far. Dembele is now going to have their first shot, and it's going to not go in. Just barely fizzed it wide. I thought it was going to be first shot, first goal, because it usually is. But he puts it just wide. So Dembele did come back to Lyon. The Atletico Madrid did not decide to sign him. I think he has a future fee clause in there. He has one in the first season. 7 shots, 3 on target. So we've been all right. More possession. I think this is working so far. We just need to get a freaking goal. Lukaku's been terrible. That's not what I expect from Lukaku. I expected him to have good games in these big matches. I'm not happy with their performance. Laporte is unhappy, but he's not been very good, so I'm not happy with their performance. Lukaku's motivated. Otherwise, I would have yelled at him, because we need a striker that can score goals. Lukaku seemed like he's been it so far, but De Bruyne with the ball into Lukaku, but he loses the header to Dembele. That is disappointing. Lukaku should be winning that every single time. He wins that, though. A squared ball from Riyad Mahrez with his right foot, and Lukaku finds the back of the net. He gets his goal. It was only a matter of time for Lukaku to score. He loses this header, but ball falls to Mahrez. He's able to get the ball to the touch line, put in a good cross. Lukaku gets in front of his defender, chips it into the back of the net. Easy finish. 1-0 up, fully deserved. Maybe this is what I needed. Maybe I just needed the attacking midfielder to link play a little bit better with the striker. Maybe the striker was getting a little bit too isolated because we were just not creating anything. So maybe Lukaku was just getting a little too isolated in that system. Moving Kevin De Bruyne to attacking midfield seems to be better so far. We've had more attacking output than we've had in the last couple of games we tried with this. Some of them even against not very good teams. So it's not like Lyon are just a much worse team than Liverpool, which they are, but I still think it's the tactics looking better. We're kind of pinning them in their own half right here. Gundogan, a nice ball to Walker. Walker's one player I've considered about changing or replacing, but maybe I don't need to, because he just gets an assist for Kevin De Bruyne, playing that more attacking position as an attacking midfielder. I had him as a roaming playmaker in center mid. I just don't think he was getting further forward enough. Obviously, our 2 defensive midfielders were on defense, so they were staying pretty far back. We just weren't getting enough numbers in attack. Look at that. We had 4 players in the box for that ball by Walker. 5 players even. So, a lot of players in the box. Much better. Is this Gundogan? So, yeah, the deep line playmaker on support, getting a little bit further forward, getting more involved in the attack. Mahrez is injured. Let's take him off. Foden has no idea how to play this position, but tough shit. You're going to have to learn it, because we're playing it right now, and we need you to play there. I'm not going to just play him in attacking midfielder just because he's better at it. Like, I'd rather have him learn this position. It might cut into some of his potential, but if you don't know, training players in new positions kind of takes some numbers away from their own potential. You take some development to change positions. So some development goes to that instead of going to increasing their attributes. But I'm willing to make it worth it. So as we have another injury, Gundogan is injured. So bring on Camavinga, and I think I'm going to switch them. Move Fernandinho to the deep line playmaker. Camavinga can be the defensive midfielder. Also make another sub here. De Bruyne is tired. He's played well. We should have this game. Yep, we definitely do have this game in hand now. Kevin De Bruyne with a free kick to Aymeric Laporte. Take off De Bruyne now. Bring on... is Bernardo Silva match fit? If it is, I don't really want to... I want to play Ox. He can play attack midfield, can he? Yeah, he's fine there. Play the Ox. Get him some more match sharpness. Everyone else is match sharp, really, so... Could play Foden at cam and move Oxlade as a right winger because he can play there better than De Bruyne can, or better than Foden can. So I'll do that. Foden can move to attacking mid. Ox will be an inverted winger on the right. I was moving to winger. I want him cutting in. I'll keep him as an inverted because I want the fullback overlapping and him cutting in on his. He's cutting in on his weaker foot, but I think he'll still be all right. Doesn't. We don't need a goal or anything, so it's not that hugely important. So a good win away from home, though. Looks like we might have figured something out here. Maybe it's just the team. Maybe Lyon's just not very good. But 3-0, pretty good result. They've got some good players. They do have Cherky in there. It's the 17-year-old. I think he's 17 now. Starts the save 16. They've got some good players, but we have better players. And they showed it on the pitch today. About dang time. Lukaku with the goal. Ooh, Laporte goes for a very audacious challenge. Laporte with a goal. Mahrez with the wait. Did Mahrez score a goal? No, Lukaku, De Bruyne, and Laporte. So good performances by a lot of our key players. Our front four really, with Sterling, Mahrez, De Bruyne, and Lukaku all playing well. Defense playing well. Mendes putting in another good performance. Fully deserved the victory. Very happy with that. Very pleased with the result and your performance. Next we have Tottenham. Inter Milan won their game against Young Boys, which you would expect, but they only won it by 1 goal. Must have been a 1-0. Yeah, 1-0 to Inter Milan. It took the Vrij to score a goal. Gundogan is only out 1 to 3 days. Mahrez is out 1 to 3 days, so that's not a big deal. Save a decent amount of money for that. De Bruyne on form. Superb. He's so good. How long until the Tottenham match? 18th, so 4 days. I'll see you for that match. And we are back for the Tottenham match, but before we get into that, I just received 5 more scouts from the board, so I thought I might as well show my scouting assignments. So what I do, put all your players, or all your scouts on ongoing, searching for hot prospects, and just whatever these, what are they called? Are they called regions? Yeah, by region. So the regions I think are most important. They got some in Western Africa, Northern Africa. Those are decent. Middle East is okay. South Europe's pretty good. I have some players, or I keep saying players, some scouts in specific countries that I'm really looking to target, like John Gannon's in Scotland. South America West is a really good one. Central Europe is one of the best, so you really want one of your best scouts scouting Central Europe. Central Africa is not that good, but if you have an extra scout, might as well throw them in there. We have 25, so I might as well throw a scout in Central Africa, see if I can come up with somebody from there. Another one in Eastern Europe. So I'm getting to the point now where I'm doubling up. Actually, no, that's the first one in Eastern Europe. I do have multiple in Eastern Europe, though. There's another one, or there's one in Central. Like, I'm doubling up in some regions. Just once you get enough scouts, I think either put them in specific countries where you want to scout for players, or just double up on some of the most important regions. So I've got one in Scandinavia, East Africa. South America East is one of the most important. It's probably the most important. So you should really have one of your best scouts with knowledge of the south of, like, Argentina and Brazil to go there. UK and Ireland's another good one, especially for us. We're looking for non-foreign players. Southern Africa, Southeast Asia, one specifically in England. My best scout is specifically looking in England because I want to get all the young English players from the lower leagues of the game, especially. Like, if any really good players are developed by Championship or League One teams, I want to know about them as soon as possible. So I'm specifically scouting England. North America is important. Another UK and Ireland. East Asia, another Central Europe, another South America East, another Eastern Europe, another North Africa. North Africa is pretty good because Egypt is really good for creating world-class youngsters. Another South Europe, another North America is pretty good. Mexico is really good. USA is okay, but mostly you're looking for Mexico with North America and another Scandinavia. So double up once you get the most important regions, which I think in order are South America East, Central Europe, UK and Ireland, Eastern Europe, then kind of a toss-up between South Europe and North America. Then it's like North Africa and Scandinavia. So those are kind of the most important. Less important are like East Asia. It's a pretty decent spot. You get to find like all the South Koreans. So there's pretty good regions there. But Southeast Asia is not very good. It's pretty much just Australia. Like Australia sometimes makes some good youngsters, but It's not great. Southern Africa's not great. South Africa isn't very good for creating players, but it's okay. You can get some. Like I've got some Premier League caliber players from South Africa before, so it's worth having a scout there. East Africa's okay, not the best. One of the lesser ones. So you want one of your lower rated scouts to go to East Africa, but it's still worth going there. Central Africa again, one of your lower rated scouts, but it's still worth it. And Middle East is kind of the same way. You can find a couple people there, but it's not the most fruitful place to scout. But again, it's still worth it. Western Africa is actually pretty good. So that's what I do for scouting. But for this match, let's go to the squad selection. I made one change because Mahrez is not fit after getting that little knock. So Phil Foden's come in for him, and Gabriel Barbosa's come on the bench. Rodri's come on the bench for Camavinga just because I feel like he'd be a bigger influence in this game than Camavinga would. So I decided to go for Rodri on the bench. Other than that, we're playing our 4-3-3. We're at home. Nunes has been playing well. So I'm happy with how our performances are going for most of our players. Lukaku started off pretty well. He had that one poor game, but other than that, he's played well. 8.1, 7.2. Played well in preseason, so I have faith that Lukaku's going to be very good for us this season. He already has 5 goals. Kevin De Bruyne already has 3. Bernardo Silva, is that how many he had all of last season? He had 4 total in the league. He had, how many goals total? He had 4 total. He did not score a single goal in any other competition. So he's halfway to his goal total from last season. He's already scored more goals in the Cups than he did all of last season. Hopefully it's Bernardo Silva season. That's what I'm hoping for. But let's get into this game. See if we can beat Tottenham. Where are they at in the league? Do one last check. They're 4th. Just 1 point behind us. Liverpool are kind of running away with it. They've not dropped a point yet. So we need to pick it up a little bit. Let's get started right now. I'm going to say I want you to pick up where you left off last time. Obviously, we're going against the one man we really coveted last offseason in Harry Kane. We got Romelu Lukaku as a backup option. Is he fit to last the full match? He's ready to start. Can Aymeric Laporte take recent good form into this match? He's been playing really well, and I certainly want him to keep it up. But yeah, we'll see how Lukaku versus Harry Kane ends up. Kane didn't have the best season last year. Lukaku actually had a better season in terms of average rating, so we'll see who shines in this game. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. They've got a pretty strong squad. But I think we can definitely win this game, especially at home. I feel pretty confident. We have a plus 10 goal difference. When we have won, we've usually won pretty comfortably. I don't think have we conceded a goal in a game we've won? I'm not sure if we have. So I know we started the first 3 without conceding a single goal. 6-0, 2-0, and a 4-0. Then we had the awful Liverpool game, but we'll just forget about that. See if this change in tactic for our away leg of games has been good for us. It started off well, as that's somehow a goal. Lloris with an absolute shocker. John Stones kicks it directly at Lloris's face, and he just throws up his hands, got some jelly fingers, and the ball goes right into the back of the net. Walker running down this right-hand side. He's been pretty good to start this season. Puts it back for Stones. Lloris has got to save that. That is some terrible goalkeeping. That is some Ederson-level goalkeeping. Ederson did some of that last year. And it's Lloris doing it this time. That is not good. Maybe you need to start Gazzaniga, because Lloris is getting up there. Gazzaniga probably is too. I don't know how old he is, but he feels like he's been in the league forever. He's only 29, so not that old. We've been the better team to start this game. We're not very good at getting shots on target so far. Only 1 of our 5 shots have been on target. Stones again! John Stones with a brace! At the back post, the ball gets headed on by Laporte, and Stones gets on the end of it, places it back into an open net pretty much. De Bruyne with a great cross in. It hits the keeper and falls right to John Stones. What a start from Stones. Is he going to get a hat trick? Foden can't quite put it on target. What a game so far from Stones. We've been the better team. We really picked it up there late in that half. We had that one run where we were just getting so many shots on target. Walker needs to be a little bit careful here with his yellow card. So does Fernandinho. Might take Fernandinho off sooner rather than later. Lukaku is through on goal. And with his right foot, his weaker right foot, he places it into the back of the net. Of course, it's Kevin freaking De Bruyne with the assist. I'm going to be so mad when he's... Well, not mad. Sad is probably the better word. So sad when he starts to decline because of age. Because he's just so good. I mean, I think he'll stay pretty relevant for a while. Will move to more of a deep line playmaker role. Because he won't be able to run as much. He can't really play that Mazzala with no pace. But hopefully he's good for another 2-3 years before he starts to fall off a bit. But what a start to this game it's been. 3-0 in the first half. Delighted with your performance so far. Keep it up. Lukaku getting a goal. He's been on a better goal-scoring run than any of our strikers last season. Like, Guerrero had one good run where he scored quite a bit. But Lukaku has been, even when he's only had the one bad game. Usually when he's not scoring, he's still playing well. So that's good to see. Because that was not the case for our strikers last year. They were either good, they weren't typically amazing. They were either good or really bad. There was no in between. As Bernardo Silva gets another goal. He is on form right now. His third goal in the first, have we played 6 games? 5-6 games? What a start from Bernardo Silva. He did pretty much nothing last season. Rarely showed up at all. Never saw him on the ball, really. But he's made a great start to this season. He's making up for his poor season last year. And I think we got the better of the strikers, I think, because Harry Kane's on a 6.3. Lukaku's on a 7.6. Maybe we made the right decision. It's cheaper. It's like half as expensive as Harry Kane would have been. Over half. Like, probably would have taken $300 million to get Harry Kane out of there. So a third of the cost. Oh, that's not good. Man is through on goal. A nice sliding tackle by, is that Nuno Mendes? I think it was. Pretty sure that was Nuno Mendes. What a sliding tackle that was. I'm going to take Lukaku off. He's tired. Bring on Ferran Torres. Actually, is Ferran Torres fit? Yeah, so I'll bring on Gabby Barbosa. Get everyone I can match sharp. De Bruyne is also tired. I'll take him off here pretty soon. I want Stones to get his hat trick. I want us to get a penalty so Stones can take the penalty and get his hat trick. He's not going to have very many opportunities to do that in this save. Or in real life, really. So this is his one big opportunity. They have Demiral, I just noticed. He's a pretty good player. So I think they have not the best backline last year. So that's a pretty big upgrade for them. De Bruyne into Fernandinho. Looking to build out from the back. Fernandinho looking over the top for Walker. Gets on the end of it. Puts the ball across the pitch to Sterling. Great first touch. And a pretty good second touch as well. As Raheem Sterling gets his first goal of the season. A brilliant first touch. Brings it down. Gets past his defender. Walker with a great switch of play. Sterling brings it down. Takes the shot early and into the bottom right corner. It's time to take off De Bruyne. You do not need to be on the pitch anymore, my friend. Bring in the Ox. He needs a little bit match sharpness as well. I think Gundogan's match sharp, so he doesn't really need to be on the pitch. Is he match sharp? Oh, he's not fully, but he is more than Oxlade is, so I'll give Oxlade a little bit more game time. Sterling's tired too, so I might take him off here in about the 80th minute. Make sure we don't have any injuries, even though it doesn't really matter. If we're down a man, we're still going to win this game. Laporte, if only that would have been John Stones, he would have put that in the back of the net. Probably not, but I'd like to think so. Fernandinho's okay to play on. Mendes I might take off, actually. We have plenty of players that can play in case of Sterling being tired. Nuno Mendes is kind of really important for us. Ake's not nearly as good. Dest isn't very good at left back, really. And Zinchenko's not really that good. Nuno Mendes has been really good to start this season. So, do I bring in Ake or Dest? I think let's bring in Dest. Give him a little bit more game time. He is only on loan, but I like him. As an American, I like Serginho Dest. So I want to give him as much game time as I can. So he's going to be losing his job pretty soon. He's probably going to be going back to Barcelona pretty soon. Whenever João Cancelo comes back from his injury, I'll probably be letting Dest go back to Barcelona. So it'll be in the transfer window, but I think it's going to be the right call just to save some money. Might as well save a little bit of money if you can. We've got a lot of money in the bank, but it doesn't hurt to save a little bit. As Walker and Stones are playing the ball really well down this right-hand side, but Walker eventually loses it. But Stones is playing like a right winger right now. Getting a little bit of a nosebleed, but he did all right. He looked pretty comfortable on the ball. Chamberlain, a pretty good ball into him. Gabriel Barbosa dropping deep. Looking to probably go for goal here, and that's never going to go in. Lloris has that all the time. Unless he has jelly fingers like he did last time. That was not going to be going in the back of the net, but this is a very long highlight. Is this going to usually these result in goals or okay, just a free kick? Is it going to continue? The highlight is going to continue. This is one of the longest highlights I've ever seen. I'm going to praise the team while I can. Foden heads that away. We can kind of break. We've got a 1-on-2 right now. We've got some players coming up in assistance. Gabby is fast. Who's this? Raheem Sterling coming into the box. A lot of players arriving, but Davies makes the tackle, and surely that's the end of the highlight. Surely that's also the end of the game, but it's not the end of the highlight. Is it on full match or something? No, it's on key highlights. What is going on? This has been like a 5-minute highlight. And it's finally over as the whistle blows. A 5-0 win. Fully deserved. They didn't have a single shot on target. I'm very happy with that. Silva with a wonderful game. Stones is man of the match. Absolutely. I am very happy with the result and the way you played. Super happy with that. Such a positive result must have gone down well with you. Will the players be getting a day off as a result? Absolutely. To say that particular result was on the cards would be an exaggeration. Just how pleased were you by the outcome? It's an absolutely superb win for everyone involved. Puts us second in the table, but Man United still have a game in hand, so they're probably still going to go ahead of us, even though their goal difference is way worse. We actually have better goal difference. Oh, they probably have a game in hand too, so that's not ideal. They're already ahead by a decent amount. 5 goals. We're either like really good or just like really, really average. I don't know. It depends what kind of form the front three are in. If they're in good form, they're going to score like 5-6 goals every game. If they're not, they're going to lose 2-0 or draw 1-1. We do have Accrington Stanley in the EFL Cup third round. So that should be a pretty easy win. They're in League 1, I believe. So that should be comfortable. Our next episode, I'll come back for the second leg against Inter. The away leg, that's going to be difficult. We'll do Inter and... How are Chelsea doing? Chelsea are 19th. Good gosh. If they're no better by the time we play that match, I might play Arsenal instead. Definitely going to do Inter. One of Chelsea or Arsenal. See who's ever in better form. But if you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials are also in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.